Let's be on our madness today and let's create a delicious recipe today. So I'm gonna make the chocolate ganache today. I'm gonna show you some of the things that you can do with like yeah, let me move it this way. So this is way easier. So we have a 3-quart right here, okay? It's gold. Then I have a holy pan, okay, holy. In case you forgot to go to church on Sundays, you've got holy. And then this is called the pudding pan. So basically it's a double boiler. Okay, so that's gonna go inside in that. So what we're gonna do is when you're working with chocolate, you never wanna have anything like water near tempering chocolate, okay? Make it clear. If you have even a drop of water in your chocolate that's already tempered, chances are you probably already messed it up. So what we're gonna do is I created this amazing recipe because I like things that are a little bit simpler than too much highfalutin stuff. Okay, so let's get started. So number one, by the way, if you ever wanna know where chocolate came from, it came from a seed like this. These are cacao beans. They come in a cute little pod like that, and inside the pod, it has all these little cushions like cotton, and inside that cotton, this is found, which is the cacao seed. And so inside that cacao seed, when you roast it, it actually has to be sun-dried, but when you roast it, this thing, I'm gonna show you because this is not roasted, it's raw, so it doesn't peel easy. But what's on the inside is basically, see, I'm taking the peel here. So what you see on the inside here, oops, is the real true chocolate. In fact, these are the nibs, so if you actually eat the nibs, they actually give you energy. So you'll see like a little white thing in there, and that is basically this stuff, the fat. This is not white chocolate. Look at that, it looks like a shape of a heart. This is actually the fat from the cacao seed. So this is super raw, everything both raw. Not what I'm gonna make right now, so with like conveniences too. So, but I wanted to educate you what the true chocolate is. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you this awesome recipe that it works every time, and it's super easy to make anytime that you want to have chocolate at home. There's no need for you to pay a bunch of money. Number one, organic heavy cream. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the heavy cream here. There you go. The whole thing, because this is it's semi-precise measures, but everything, it's a give or take type of thing. Sometimes I do things by eyeballing it, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the holy pan, the pan with the holes, because that would allow, while the cream it's on the bottom heating up at the temperature that I wanted, around 165 degrees Fahrenheit, then that steam is going to hit this pan. And so now this pan is going to melt my chocolate chunks, okay? So this is gonna go in there. So this is approximately about 2 cups. And then turn it to medium. Okay, I want the cream to heat up because I'm going to be melting this to make the chocolate, so to make the ganache, to make the bonbons, to make the truffles, because that's what we're gonna go for. Okay, here I have some, this is fat. This is basically cacao fat. So this has so many properties that are very healthy for you. And number one, it protects your immune system. This is the highest of qualities of creams that you can find in the market. There are creams that have coconut butter, but this is a very expensive substance. In fact, a very expensive, valuable, it's like gold. So in fact, the Mayans, they used to regard cacao beans, this stuff, as gold. Many of them, many chiefs and basically kings got buried with a lot of cacao seeds. So I wouldn't doubt it, everywhere that you saw cacao plants, probably some king underneath buried because the plants came up. So just kidding, that's the story. Ecuador grows a lot of cacao. And so anyway, Nicaragua and I think Peru too, and then some parts in somewhere in Africa. But anyway, the whole thing is like this is so good for you. So if you ever have a cold sore in your mouth, then or super dry, like chapped lips, then what you do is you want to put this on. So you just take a little bit and just put it around. Anywhere where you're dried, like I mean dried, you need to put this. If you have eczema, you can actually put this. So you just put it on your skin. I don't want to put it on my skin right now because in fact I probably will keep it. So because this thing, you know, like right now, look at my hands, but this thing melts at 98, pretty much 0.5% temperature. So it melts at body temperature. Okay, so the more that I hold it in my hand, the more that this will become to giving off some, you know, some of the oil. Okay, so this is what I use. So it's just starting to get really creamy, really beautiful, very delicious. So this is like a really great protector of your immune system. So what I do is, once this is melted, I'm going to put some of this cacao butter. This is liquid gold. This is what the Mayans will call liquid gold. And so how do you do that? You do not want to break this down too much because there's a lot of great properties in here, okay? Nutrients that are unknown to many, many, many people, okay? Tryptophan that helps you make serotonin in your brain, like the whole cacao structure, this thing, it's truly like the happy pill, truly as is. It gives you energy, it gives you everything. In fact, the warriors would drink like quite a few cups of cacao drink before they went to war because it would give them energy. So it's very sacred. Okay, so if it's sacred, so then we need to cook it so we don't disturb that sacredness. So what you want to do is you preheat this pan. Okay, and I'll show you right here. I'm gonna move this for a bit. Okay, you preheat the 1 quart. I'm gonna continue to cook on this side because I need this to melt. But if I want this to melt, then what I need is I need to put the lid on, okay? In the meantime, because what I wanna show you is how I discovered how to make chocolate from scratch by accident because I was trying to make a longevity cream, you know, anti-aging and that sort of thing. And then I realized that really food is anti-aging. Chocolate is anti-aging because it's one of the highest substances on the planet that has such a great antioxidant absorbency when it comes to free radicals in the body. So it will actually absorb it, super high in magnesium. Oh, my milk. Oops. Okay. All right, so anyway, so back to the cacao. So this should be heated already. So you'll notice as soon as this pan is heated, and usually I'll just wait till it's heated like on the side. So I'm done. Okay, so I turn off the heat. Okay, I turn off the heat and then I put the cacao butter in there. And then I cover it and then I just let it melt on its own. So in the meantime, I'm gonna grab a handle because I missed the handle. And so what we wanna do is that we wanna move this around a little bit. You see this, how it's already melting? So sometimes I like to leave this cacao butter in the sun and then I have like melted kissed by the sun chocolates as well. So sometimes it's super cool. And so if you take this, you know, and you add some of it to, I'm gonna add probably about, this is probably approximately about a couple, like a 1/4 cup. So I'm gonna add it to my, where's the handle? To this thing over here. Okay, so while I was talking, something was happening here. My milk the milk went over a little bit, but that's okay because I'm gonna use this anyhow. So here's the hot cream. So what you do before I actually put the cacao cream, you're going to put, I'm having here 1 tablespoon of vanilla bean powder. And I have in here, instead of using, a lot of people use a corn syrup. Stay away from corn syrup because it's genetically modified and it's not good for you. This is actually honey. Not only honey is good for your immune system, but also honey will help you preserve your chocolate for a lot longer. So let me get something in here. So I want to plug this machine so you can see what I'm doing. Actually, we're gonna move it to this side. Ooh. I'm gonna move that part. Okay, so you put your vanilla bean powder. Then we come over here. Okay, so you can see. Maybe I can push this here. I want to be able for you to see everything. So, okay, there we go. So I have this is the Cuisinart. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this other chocolate chunks. So this right here is the S blade. So this is a food processor. It's called the Cuisinart. For those of you who don't know, at some point I didn't know this existed. I'm so glad that I learned how to use it because it's awesome. Okay, so that's roughly about 3 cups or so. So now you take your warm milk. Oh, I'm gonna start some hot water for a moment. Because once I take the warm milk and I put it in here, then what's gonna happen is going to melt the chocolate. But you have to wait. It has to be somewhere around 98 degrees before you start blending. Because if you blend before that, it will separate and you don't wanna do that. So you put the, we want everything to melt at the same time. So it doesn't matter what order you put it, but you need to put a stick of butter. And this is unsalted butter, unless you want it like a little salted on your chocolate. Okay. Super easy. And then we're gonna take the honey. And this is approximately a 1/4 cup of honey. You can use any type of honey. You hear honey? Okay. So, and now, I'm gonna take my hot cream with the, careful not to go over the white part of the Cuisinart, because otherwise you're gonna have water. Well, maybe it wasn't too good of an idea to put the the cinnamon, the vanilla bean powder. So there we go. Okay. Sometimes I have to think, okay, what should I do next? Okay, so wipe completely the cream. But now, because you need to continue to heat up this pan at the bottom. So then what I'll do is I'm gonna take my cacao butter, which is another 1/4 cup. And now I'm gonna use this pan and I'm gonna put boiling water. About the same amount I had. And then I'm gonna put this on the top. And I'm gonna keep it at medium heat. So meanwhile, this will continue to melt. Okay, so you see both there. So this is already taking shape. See how it's already melting. I added a little bit of the cream on the top, so it's still a fat. It's water that you'd never want to mix this with. So just let it continue, because this is what you're going to use to make your ganache, or basically your truffles. So we're going to roll up the truffles, but this is going to be in a moment. I'm going to blend this. So, and you can check the temperature sometimes with a candy thermometer, or for me, I have some little gun here, because I need to keep the temperature right now. And this is in Fahrenheit. It's about 108, 107. So I want to bring it down to 98 at least. Okay, because if I start disturbing the chocolate right now, what's gonna happen? See, and by the way, the water at the bottom doesn't have to boil. You have to keep it at low heat. And that was the mistake that I made before, that I brought the cream, but that's okay. That's the beautiful thing about this, that this process that I'm showing you here is very forgiving. It's not too rigid. And so the same thing, you want to add a little bit of about a tablespoon of more of the liquid gold, I call it, okay, into this mixture as well. So in that way you're fortifying this, and it helps you temper your chocolate. But I'm not gonna do it yet until this is a little bit more, a little softer. But if you notice how like it's starting to, we started with chunks and now it's like, like more of like a paste. Okay, let's check on this. So you want to test if the chocolate chunks, you want to make sure that they're melting. Some people like to use chocolate chips, but I don't like to use chocolate chips because they're really sugary. And what we want to do is, I'm showing you better ways to do things at home. Sometimes we need to change the paradigm and how we've been doing things for the longest time. Technology is here, everything advances. Well, cooking advances too. So I want to show you things that are a little bit better. I mean, I make these also from scratch, like by actually using the cacao powder and the cacao butter and everything, and I can make chocolate in 5 minutes. This take a lot longer, but it's also really delicious. And so some of the best benefits, I wrote a book on the benefits of cacao or chocolate, if you will. And I'm not talking about the commercial made chocolate. I'm talking about the chocolate that you can make at home, or this type of thing that we're creating here. And so so one of the things is chocolate lowers blood pressure, and it also increases your ability to think truly. You get a lot of tryptophan, which tryptophan is an amino acid that is responsible for your mood. And so and also the magnesium is one of the highest sources of magnesium. So a lot of times people don't have enough magnesium in their body, and so therefore they cannot make serotonin, and therefore they spend a lot of time in depression mode because they don't have those essential amino acids going through the body. So it's whether you eat, and some people go, at some point they say, well, chocolate bar, that's why I should eat that chocolate bar. That is BS, because that's not it. What you want to have is basically this, and which is the seed that I shown you. So that's where the benefits are. And this is kind of like a fun food that you can eat a lot of this in that. At least you're making it at home, you're making it healthier. There is several videos that I've already made that are a little bit old, but they're good, where I show you how to make that raw chocolate in 5 minutes. So this will increase, the nitric oxide in the body as well. Truly, there's so many, many, many benefits that I can't begin to tell you. I actually wrote an entire book about how to find nutrients in all kinds of foods without ever taking a vitamin or mineral, which is one of the things that I never do. So, okay. So this part right here, this is going to continue to cook because I have to keep it at low until it completely melts. So I'm not going to disturb it. This I can start right now and then I can show you how the finished product is. So I'm going to find the lid for this. And like I said, when working with chocolate, doesn't matter if it already has chocolate. Okay, so we're gonna put it here because this, I can see it already quite melted. Well, it's still a big chunk here. But as long as that I can, yeah, no, this is too hard. So as long as that you can melt like this, see this? You know, that's when you begin to blend. So maybe next time cut your chunks a little bit smaller. I was a little bit in a hurry, so I shouldn't be. Sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I really have to slow down. That's the bottom line, and life is like that too. Sometimes we're in a hurry, everything we want Insta pot, Insta this, Instagram, Insta everything. And well, you never take the time, you know, to take your time and to enjoy the moment. So this is looking good though. So just keep on doing it. You know, it takes patience, you know. People always love my chocolate. They say, oh, your chocolate is the best in the world. And I say, no, it's the best in the galaxy. So because, you know, there's a lot of patience that it takes to do this. But once you make it once, you will never, ever, ever buy another chocolate. Ever, ever, ever again. Because you're going to love yours more than anyone else's. So this is doing good over here. This is doing that. So let me show you while this is still like doing whatever it needs to be done. Because chocolate is very temperamental, believe me. So I have here what it looks like in the end. So you leave it overnight or you can put it in the fridge. The problem with putting it in the fridge, you're gonna acquire a little bit of moisture, but it's still, you can work with it. Let me turn this up. Let me show you. And it's okay if I show you after the blend. So you want to use, I'm always using stainless steel, but for you to keep things a little bit cleaner, but it's not going to be as clean for the environment if it's keep on using wax paper. And so you can use wax paper if you like. And why am I wearing gloves? Is because otherwise you would have chocolate all over. In fact, look at my eyebrow. I did color my eyebrows with chocolate. I went like this and then I wiped it like, oh, it looks better than using makeup. Okay, so now you take one of these and make sure that you grab a spoon. It is very, very dry. It doesn't matter even if it's in your cupboard. Somebody might have put it wet, which has happened to me. And so you make sure that your equipment is dry when you touch this. And so have a tray right there. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this stuff over here so you can see. So you can see what I do. So you take like a amount like this. And the idea is you make it look like a truffle. And these I'm going to quickly make them because the more that you handle it, the more that you're going to end up softening it up. So this is the inside. So basically this is what imprints in your teeth, and it's like really delicious and creamy. Okay, that seriously is the best thing ever. And I'm gonna show you the ones already made. So I'm still working on this melting lava of chocolate. This made me happy, truly. This is my happy place, making chocolate. I love making all kinds of chocolates. It's my favorite thing to do. It's like, you know, some people like to work with clay and, you know, fabrics and things like this. To me, this is epic. So, you know, you make it look like a truffle. If you've ever seen a truffle, those, they grow in Piedmont and Italy. You know, they look like these kind of little out of shape thingies, you know, complex little morsels that put in pasta and delicious dishes, rices and that kind of thing. It's so yummy. So it'd be great if I didn't have this heat right next, but I wanted to show you because otherwise my chocolate is already starting to become a little bit gooey. So if that happens because you're hot, your house is too hot, I usually like to make chocolate in the winter. If your house is too hot, then, you know, you might need to be putting it in the fridge. But like I say, the more that you put it in the fridge, the more that you're gonna end up with moisture, and you do not want that moisture in here. Okay, not that kind of moisture from water or condensation rather, because if you put it on the fridge, you will get a little bit of condensation. So I always like to leave it the night before, and I usually like to leave it out in the counter, on the counter for about 24 hours. That's if you have the room. If not, put it on the fridge, and then, oops, that one's a little too small. So I like to keep them, you know, you can go like that, make a round. You know, it's different shapes. Sometimes, you know, you at the top is a little bit harder than the middle, a little creamy. Make the best little ball. Meanwhile, I'm checking on my chocolate. See how it's coming along. See, you can build things with this. See how many I can get with this. This is so delightful. I promise you, you will love these forever. I probably won't keep this video for a long time. I'm not sure. I might take it down because this is too good to be true. Too amazing. Okay. What a great way to start the day with making delicious bonbons, truffles. These are the best ever. And so I might have to wait to enrobe them, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like once they're enrobed. I might have to make a separate video on how to enrobe these little morsels. Okay, almost done. If it looks small, just add a little extra towards the end. You know, they're starting to look very more creamy. So your chocolate has to really, really, really be liquefied. And like I say, only put chocolate, don't put anything. Mine, because I wasn't paying attention, some of the, and I had it on high heat, some of the cream jump up into the double boiler. That's all right. I always like to fix things. I always look for solutions, and I always find what I'm looking for. So just take the rest, you know, always scraping, because oh, look at this. You always find a morsel of two more in there. Even if they're a little bit soft, I can put it as a ball, because these are gonna go in the fridge, and then I'm gonna split them. Actually, I can just split them right now. Okay. Chocolarama. It never fails. I always get chocolate on me. Always. Okay. Let's see what's going on with this. I think this turned into truffle. All right. So this is what it looks like. So you're gonna put this in the fridge, and then let me show you what it looks like. You bring them out after you make this. You put them in the fridge for about 5 or 10 minutes if you forget. And then you bring them out, and then you are going to mix them with some of the chocolate that has already been tempered and liquefied. So I'll show you. Just bear with me. Just wait. So perfect. So now, let's go back to this. This chocolate should be melted, remember? And now we're going to blend. And we will see in a moment. See this cream that you see right here? I want to use a very, very dry see? So this will turn, you leave this overnight, you put it in a cookie sheet, and what you do is, once you put it on the cookie sheet, it become hard, like what I showed you, like it will show like moldable, and then you make the little balls. Once the balls are ready, they're dry, like I said, 5 minutes if you're in a hurry, and you want to do them right away, you can actually use you can put them in the freezer for about 5 minutes and then quickly mix them, but it's not gonna have the same effect. It's way better if you let this sit overnight or put it in the fridge or freezer for 10 minutes. And once your chocolate is melted, then you make the little balls and you create the truffle. So to see what the truffle looks like is like this. And so I've had these in the freezer already that were already enrobed, and now all I'm going to do is I'm going to make with my cacao, with my chocolate that is already, the chocolate that is already liquefied. Then you take it, first you fill them, you enrobe it all the way around inside here, and then you put it in the fridge. Then once the fridge, that was the last spot that I didn't show you, then you just, with a spoon, you just go like that. And then you'll have this beautiful, shiny kind of coating right there. And so once you do this part, then you just leave it out and wait until it does cool off completely, the top that you just put in there. But since they're coming from the freezer, chances are that they will be like so they will actually create a freeze on impact. So even if these are frozen, I'll show you what they're already at room temperature, but I like to keep them in the fridge. So if you want to see, look at this. So delicious. It melts in your mouth, not in your hands. Super amazing. Well, folks, I'm glad that you watched this video, and I hope that you can subscribe, or if you want to learn more about my recipes, or if you want to know more about the cookware that I'm using, which doesn't emit any heavy metal toxicity. It cooks in medium low heat, and it cooks in half the time at lower heat. So it's healthier for the environment, healthier for you, healthier for the planet. Until then, this is your flexitarian friend, Jael Tanti. Have a happy, healthy, and wealthy day. Remember, stay positive.